Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back. And I just wanted to come and run my mouth on this glorious Sunday. Um, let's go ahead and get into this mess. Girl, it's something I wanted to talk about so bad, but I'm trying to get my words together to figure out how I want to approach the conversation. I don't know if I will or if I won't, but I want to. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So, Cynthia Bailey. Oh, God. Cynthia. So, this is according to the neighborhood talk. Cynthia Bailey says she feels somewhat pressured to date again just months after second divorce. The problem is, I'm 56, so I don't have a lot of time. Neighbors is no secret Cynthia Bailey is a single peach after her most recent divorce from Mike Hill, but the reality TV star spoke with Daily Mail and said she felt somewhat pressured to get back out on the dating scene. Well, for me, I definitely didn't want to rush into anything, Cynthia said. I definitely wanted to take the time to just really just sit with my divorce and the new singleness and just be ready to start dating. But the problem is, I'm 56, so I don't have a lot of time. I can't sit around for a couple of years and have a hot girl summer at 60. I guess I could, but that wouldn't be my preference. She continued, I kind of felt like, as in any breakup or divorce, a lot of times you start disconnecting and going through the breakup process before you actually break up. And that's kind of what happened to me. So by the time it actually happened, I was kind of like, okay, let me not miss my person by not allowing myself to get back out there because of time. I put myself back out there solely on a dating app. I got back on Raya. What's that? Raya? Raya, which I was on before, and everything's pretty slow and steady. Cynthia says she's been on a few dates, but nothing is serious yet. I'm gonna read some of the comments. The first comment is time for what? Unprogram yourselves. Okay. The next comment is in your 56 years of living, you should have learned it's okay to be alone. Someone else put, Auntie, it's time to relax a little bit. All these failed marriages, it's okay to be single. Someone else put, these comments are weird. Age doesn't stop you from being valued and able to be loved on. You got to stop that. She's beautiful. Hold up. She's beautiful and doesn't matter her age, she can still date. But I don't think that you should feel valued or because you got a man by your shoulder. I mean, a man by your side either. So age doesn't stop you from being valued. No, it doesn't. But girl, you shouldn't see value just in yourself just because you happen to have a man. Someone else put black women are ridiculed in our community for being single. So she's brainwashed from conditionings from the past. Ma'am, I'm 32 and I promise I'm done. It's okay to be alone, Auntie. Someone else put, at what age would I not be thinking about no man? I'm traveling. No, I'm sorry. At that age, I would not be thinking about no man. I'm traveling and living life. Someone else put the fact that women are pressured into believe dating or marriage have to be a before death goal is society fault. She isn't allowed to just accept her experiences with marriage and relationships. She has to feel accomplished before death, or she will feel like a failure. Thanks to society. That's true too. It's no guidebook. Someone else put, it's no guidebook to this life. My grandmom remarried at 62, and she and her new husband has been married for 23 years today, still living and healthy and loving. They're 85 and 86 years old. It's very possible. You got to kiss a couple of frogs to your king or queen. This is what I got to say. I just think that, girl, at some point in life, I just wish that people knew that it was okay to be single. I know it's completely different. I feel like the pressures from society when it comes to women being in a relationship and men being in a relationship are different. I feel both men and women feel the pressure from society, but I feel like the pressure from that women feel is a lot heavier, right? I mean, then on top of that, girl, especially if you're one of those who want a family and girl, you got time on your side, you know what I'm saying? So all a lot of that stuff starts to come into play too. Girl, I don't know what age I was at when I realized that I was okay with being single for the rest of my life. It wasn't my 20s. I'll say it was probably like early 30s, probably early 30s, close to mid 30s, where I was like, you know what, girl, you gonna probably be single for the rest of your life. And girl, I think I'm okay with that. Because when I sit back and I watch and I sit back now, especially now, I love my life. I absolutely love my life. I absolutely love my life. And I was about to say something. Girl, I'm not gonna say that. I just love my life. I love my life. And I think that you have to get to a point. Cynthia's gonna have to get to a point. Because Cynthia girl, she 56. Okay? Girl, I'm 40. Cynthia old enough to be my mama. Cynthia girl, you're gonna have to get to a point where you're okay with being alone. Because what's gonna happen is Cynthia's going to rush into another job ass relationship because she's so busy looking for love. And girl, she gonna be with him, get married, girl, and get divorced in a couple of years. If it's meant for Cynthia to be with her Russell Wilson, it'll happen. If it's meant for her to be with her Papoose or her Prince Harry or her Dr. Eugene or her Dr. Francis or girl her Barack Obama, girl, it's gonna happen. And if it's not meant to be, then girl, it's not meant to be. I think for a lot of women they pressure y'all into believing that you're gonna be the old lady with the cats. And so there you have to hurry up and go get a band. They tell y'all having a piece of no man is better than having no man, right? Cynthia gonna have to Cynthia's gonna have to release that and let it go. Cynthia's damn near 60 years old, and she's still out here, girl, having a fit over a man. Because if I don't have no man, then girl, what's the point of me being on this earth? Cynthia, you have experienced love, even if it was for a couple of years. You have a daughter who's healthy and grown and thriving. Girl, it's time for you to sit back and just enjoy your life. There are people out there who want to experience a little bit of love, right? Because I'm sure that when she got with Peter, it was some love somewhere in there, even if it was for a couple of months. Girl, I'm sure when she got with Mike, it was some love in there somewhere, even if it was for a couple of months, right? So, girl, you got to experience what you got to experience, right? You have a daughter, girl. I don't hear stories about you being broke. So, girl, you've experienced what you've experienced. You have a little bit of money in your account. Girl, you're a gorgeous woman. Girl, live your life. And then if you happen to just be at Publix one day and meet a nigga, then girl, just so be it. Girl, okay? If you happen to be out, girl, taking a walk around a block, exercising, honey, you bump into a nigga, then girl, so be it. Because if you don't bump into a nigga, then so be it. Okay? Cynthia, baby, you're 60. Pushing 60. It's time to let the Disney fantasy go. And I think that's what really messed a lot of y'all up is the Disney fantasy. It really is. Everybody looking for their prince, and everybody got to kiss a couple of frogs. You do know that just because you exist, that does not mean that you're supposed to be in a relationship. Think about it. Anyway, so girl, I want to talk about this. Okay. So, a mob of teens ransack a Nordstrom at Westfield, Topanga, California. Girl, when I tell you, I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna play the video so y'all can see these people tearing up this Nordstrom store. Girl, I said they was tearing it up. Girl, girl, quiet as this cup, honey. They should have let me know what it was, and I could have met them. I could have met them around the corner and see what they had. What kind of bags y'all done snatched? Let me see. What kind of belts y'all got? Okay. Let me see. How much you selling it for? Okay. Let me go ahead and play the video, y'all.
Crazy. This is fucking crazy, y'all. This is nuts. Y'all, it's fucking crazy.
Bro! Oh my god! Yo! They wildin' the fuck out!
Look at Nordstrom, hurry up.
Y'all need to send me so far!
Yo.
Go, go, go!
Come outside. Hurry up, go,
Go! Y'all gotta go!
go!
Go, run! Y'all gotta work together! Yo, this shit. Look at this man. He got the whole Louis suitcase set. Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all gotta go. Look at, wait, he left the YSL purse. Go grab it. Baby, go get me that YSL purse. Yeah. Am I a bad person to go? Can I go? Can I go get the curse?
Girl, not them cheering them on. Talking about go, go, go. When Miss Thing said, "Ooh, they dropped the YSL purse, go get it for me." Why does this kept going? I would have snatched that purse up. Okay. Anyways, yeah. So listen. One of the very first comments in the comment section was from Funky Dineva. And this is what he had to say. And it's always us. Damn it, man. This ish makes us look so bad. And I don't care if y'all want to call it respectability politics. Save your dissertation if that's any of your talking points. So I'm going to say this. One, it don't make me look bad. Because the truth of the matter is, I think what we need to come to realize is that it doesn't matter if white people walked into a room and it was full of Barack Obamas and Michelle Obamas and Tyler Perry's and Oprah Winfrey's girl. People gonna think what they want to think about niggas. It really doesn't matter. Like they gonna think what they want to think about us. They gonna always think we lazy, stupid, and sorry. It don't matter, and we know that we're not, girl. But they're gonna think that. It doesn't matter what it comes down to, right? So, as someone who used to work for Nordstrom for 8 years, okay? So, I worked at Nordstrom. For some of y'all don't know, but I used to work at Nordstrom. I worked at Nordstrom for 8 years. And I was not a sales associate. I worked in logistics. They tried to get me to go to the sales floor because when I first started, believe it or not, I know some of y'all don't think it, but girl, I got a little style, especially when I used to be a little smaller, girl, I felt I could dress my body more. I just feel like when you're smaller, you have access to like cuter clothes. I do feel that way. Um, and I feel like it's easier to dress your body when you're smaller versus when you get a little thick. Okay? You can still be cute when you thick, but girl, I just feel like it's easier to dress when you're smaller. So, anyways, when I first started, I used to always like put on clothes. And so I remember the store manager was basically trying to pressure me to go to the sales floor because she felt like I would be a good sales associate. She used to have people coming up asking me, "You don't want to be on the sales floor, you should be on my team." Girl, no, I don't want to. I think because I was pretty much over with customer service. What I did, I didn't really have to deal with customers like that. Of course, if they saw me walking, someone might ask for some help, but like dealing directly with customers, no, I was over customer service. And then on top of that, I didn't want to take that chance with commission because the girls are on commission. Um, so, anyways, I worked at Nordstrom for 8 years, and I'm gonna say this much: the girls steal. Now I ain't ever seen nothing happen like what's happening at this store because baby, the girls they look like they got away with a lot of stuff. There have been times the girls and boys have come in and ran out with all types of designer bags. They will come in and clip the chains. I remember one time it was a table, what's it called, Comme des Garçons. Those t-shirts can be, kind of pricey depending on what you think pricey is. The t-shirts can run you like $125. That's kind of a lot for a t-shirt. You got a t-shirt with a heart in the corner. Okay. Um, those t-shirts can start like at 125, right? And then by the time you start to get to the collared shirts and the hoodies, you up there probably $300. Anyway, because somebody came in and swiped the entire table one time and ran out the door. They've come in and stolen belts, designer belts. They started locking up the designer belts at one point. So the people have come in and stolen some things. Now, if we're gonna be honest, girl, as uncomfortable as it may sound, girl, I'm not saying all of the time, but a lot of the time, the people that came in and stole, they were black. Let me tell y'all something. White people still different when it comes to like clothing stores, especially. They move different than like the way black people move. The black people gonna come in and steal. The white people, they come and buy it and then they just return it. Right? It's kind of like I don't have no reason to steal because, right? But I also know the people that probably are stealing, they're probably going to sell it to make money off of what they boosted. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure Marlo, girl, no tea, no shade. I'm sure Marlo probably been in Houston a couple of times waiting around the corner. Girl, probably waiting on her dog on stage. Girl, probably over there around Richmond waiting for the people to come in somebody's Toyota Corolla, right? I get it. But I also understand not to make it. This is gonna sound crazy. Not to make excuses for black people who will be stealing out of stores. We also know that, girl. We trying to get it how we live, and we also know that it's not a fair playing field. So sometimes people feel like this is the only thing that I have left to do. So let me just run in here, steal a couple of shirts, and then, girl, take them out and sell them. I'm not making excuses up for a thief, but what I am saying is, girl, we know that, girl, when it comes to just black and white people, it's not a even playing field. You know what I'm saying? So, girl, where the white person can come in and buy something and return it, girl, the black person may not be able to. Girl, you had a 400-year start, so bitch, you ought to be able to go and buy it and return it. Hello, somebody. Um, but girl, white people just do something different. Do stuff differently. They really do. They do. A lot of the times when Nordstrom, you know, people came in and stole, they were black people. It is what it is. Um, I remember this. I couldn't tell if she was Mexican, Hispanic, or if she was white. But I remember one time this woman came in and, honey, when I tell she had the shit on lock, BP is like it's like the juniors department. BP be having some cute stuff too. I thought I was I'm about to sneeze. Oh, excuse me. That's why I kept stopping because I felt I was about to sneeze and I was waiting for it to come. Thank you. I know somebody just said bless you. So anyways, this white lady came in and um Miss Thing had bought like a whole bunch of BP stuff. Girl, when I tell you the girls who know how to steal, they know how to steal. You see what I'm saying? They do it the right way. They gonna get this. How you get your money? I'm about to tell y'all. I should be telling y'all this story just in case I gotta go knock on Nordstrom door one day and ask for my job back. So the white lady, this is what I mean by white people still different from black people. So the white lady came in. If she was white or Hispanic, I couldn't tell. But I'm just gonna say white. So she came in and she had bought a whole bunch of stuff from BP. Now BP, BP, they got stuff $50, $60, $70. But you can also, if they got a sale, you can find stuff on the sale rack $8.99, $10.99, $12.99, $20.99, $39.99, stuff like that. So she had purchased. Now she actually had purchased a lot of clothes from BP. Let me tell you what this bitch did. She went over to Via Indy Indy via C. So basically, that department, I don't know if it's still like that right now because I haven't been there in a couple of years, but that department at one point was kind of like, that they were going to have price points of 300, 400, 500. So you could get, it wasn't a considered designer though, but it still had you had to have a couple of dollars to shop. Excuse me, to shop in via NDC. I mean, what was it called? Indy via C, because they combined. It used to be individualists, and then via C, it was two different departments, and they added the departments together. So they started calling it Indy via C. Yeah. So, anyways, girl, that was like the price point. You can still find stuff on sale for like $75, $50 sometimes, but it probably be like a regular T-shirt, like a regular white T-shirt for like $75. But that was the price point. So Miss Thing, I was at work that day. I was there when the whole thing happened. So I didn't see the whole thing, but I was at work because they were telling me it just happened. I saw her though. I saw her, but I didn't see the whole thing that she was doing. So this bitch had went over to NDVSC, got a whole bunch of stuff. She tried it on. You listening? Then she found a new sales associate. You listening? And BP. Miss Thing went to the BP department and she told the sales associate that she wanted to return her items, but she didn't have the receipt. Now listen, at Nordstrom, you really don't need the receipt to return stuff because we have these things called UIIs. And the UII is pretty much what brings up the information. So I don't know if those who have shopped at Nordstrom, they know what I'm talking about. When you go to Nordstrom, it's these little stickers by the register. Anyone can access the stickers. Anybody. I can walk in Nordstrom right now and just take a whole roll of UIIs, right? You can, anybody can, because they're literally right on the register. So what happens is when you come in and you buy something, they'll scan the UPC and then they'll get a UII and they'll scan the UII. The UII is basically it's kind of like another receipt in a way. Now I will say, as long as I worked at Nordstrom, I was not a sales associate. However, I have never, ever, 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 ever heard of UIIs malfunctioning. Ever. I have never heard anyone say, girl, the UIIs are messing up, the system is messing up, the UIIs ain't taking. I've never heard that. So a lot of the times, I'm not saying it never happened, I'm just saying I never heard it. So a lot of times, if customers did come in and they claimed that they had bought something, they got the receipt, because a lot of times what customers would do, they would come in, steal, and then go to the register, take them UIIs, and be like, I bought this, I ain't got the receipt, I don't know why it's not coming up. Girl, you probably stole this. You probably walked by somebody's register when it wasn't nobody there, got a couple of UIIs, went to the back, tried something on, and then tried to act like you had, then when nobody was looking, you probably went behind a register, grabbed a Nordstrom bag, and tried to say that you bought it. You see what I'm saying? The customers, Girl, they will find a way to act like they had bought something. So, anyways, girl, she basically got a whole bunch of UIs, put them on the clothes, went to a sales associate who was new, and told them she wanted to return the stuff. The sales associate pretty much got so frustrated, girl, even though the UII, the stuff was coming up for the stuff that she did buy, the stuff that she didn't buy, it wasn't coming up because she didn't buy. She had just stolen. She was trying to return stolen merchandise. So as a sales associate was ringing the stuff that she actually bought from BP, she was scanning the UII for the stuff that she had just stole, but the stuff wasn't coming up. She didn't call no manager or nothing. Girl, why Miss Thing returned all that shit to that lady's card? Y'all heard what I just said? Let me just tell a quick story again. The customer came in with a whole bunch of clothes from BP. She returned those clothes, but she had already stolen the clothes from Indivia C. She went to another department and said, I bought all this stuff. I don't have the receipt. I want to return it. As a sales associate was scanning the UIIs for the stuff that she actually purchased, she started scanning the stuff from Indivia C, but it wasn't coming up because the UII, because it was stolen. But the sales associate got so frustrated, she just started manually, like, basically, okay, this is your, okay, this $300, $400, $500, $300, $400. So she did a big return for stuff that the lady didn't even buy. That's how white people steal. Yes. They're going to come in, get a Nordstrom bag, girl. They're going to have a sensor remover, okay? And then they're going to walk up to the register and be like, I need to return this. Ma'am, it's not coming up. Well, I don't know. Sometimes they'll give you a store credit too. One time a black guy did that. I still remember, girl. I was trying to be an employee of the month. Girl, this black guy came in there. I literally watched him do the whole transaction. Girl, he walked into the store. Girl, he walked and got a Burberry shirt. Girl, went behind the register. Wasn't nobody paying attention. I was paying attention. Went behind the register over there by the glass doors, by the red garage. He was over there by the register. Wasn't nobody over there. He got the shirt, put it in the bag. Girl, he went to. I told the manager, I was like, hey, and I wasn't going. I was like, girl, I ain't getting into this shit because I really didn't care if people stole or not. Girl, I ain't getting in that shit. She was like, what? And so I was like, that guy over there, he's stealing. He was like, you weren't gonna tell me something like she said something like that, and then she was like, oh, he coming here all the time and steal. Girl, you almost had a fit because I didn't tell you. And now that I told you, you basically just brush it off like, oh, he coming here still all the time. Girl, why that man walked over to customer service, returned the shirt that he had just stole. I watched the whole goddamn thing. Now I saw this with my own eyes. He walked to customer service because customer service used to be on the first floor. Walked to customer service. Girl, they gave him some money. They returned the shirt, put the money on a gift card. That motherfucker walked over to the men's shoe department and bought some Nikes. You know the Nikes with the pockets on the sole? Y'all know what I'm talking about, like the Air Vape Nikes. I forgot what they're called. Let me see. I think I changed my whole outfit up for the Beyonce concert, y'all. Yeah, C's right here. You see? With the pockets, those. Anyways, girl, he went over there, bought a pair that were all black, girl, and then he walked off the store with his new tennis shoes on. He put his old tennis shoes inside the box in the Nike box, and girl put his new tennis shoes on and walked off the store. The people used to come in, but the white people, when it came to like returning shit, they were the worst. They were. They were. They were. The niggas return stuff too. Don't get it twisted. Girl, the niggas was gonna return stuff, but the white people, they would come and return shit, girl. They have shit. I remember this one time when this one white girl came in, she probably was like in her early 30s. Bitch, this bitch came in with the sweater on and said that she had this sweater, but she wanted to return it. She said she wore it to a family gathering or something like that, to a party or something, and she washed it one time and dried it, and she said it kind of messed up and she wanted to return it. I said, this bitch got the sweater on her body. I swear to God, y'all. This bitch had the sweater on her body. I was like, I want to return this. Girl, what the Girl, you said you wore the sweater, you washed it and dried it, which, girl, I guarantee if we look at the tag, it's probably going to say don't wash or dry. Okay? Girl, that's the real gag. And then you got the sweater on. You done brought your ass in here talking about you want to return it. I bet she returned it. And got her money back. Girl, white people do not care. One of them white people at Nordstrom did not give a damn about returning shit. That's why I used to tell the niggas, girl, don't be scared. Get them white people coming out, girl. Them white people coming out with shit. I remember when I first started working at Nordstrom, they changed the policy up now for designer shoe. I don't think it's like that anymore. But when I first started, it did not matter. You could return anything to Nordstrom whenever the fuck you wanted to. No lie. I remember one time I was in accessories in the back looking for a scarf. Bitch, why I saw a scarf with a Marshall's tag on it? I got so disgusted because Nordstrom has this thing. It's when I first started at Nordstrom, I was in training, and it was a story they wanted us to Google. Basically, somebody returned like some tires or something to Nordstrom, and they accepted the tires. And so they had this thing of Nordstrom accepts anything. And they kind of like make like, and so I think that's how they really had a more flexible return policy, because that was kind of the thing they stood on. I thought it was dumb as fucking didn't understand it. When I saw that Marshall scarf in the back, I said, girl, somebody returned a scarf from Marshall's to Nordstrom, and they took it back. Just silly shit like that. But anyways, girl, what was I telling the story? It was another story I was about to tell. What was I going with the story? What was I going with the story? I was about to tell a story. Okay, I got it. Designer shoes. So when I first started, there really was not a return policy for pretty much anything. I don't know about jewelry, but I'll say I'm just gonna keep it for designer shoes. For shoes, they didn't. You could return grade them out. I remember one time I was in QC, basically our damages for Nordstrom. So I was downstairs because even though I had one specific like title, they still wanted to like train you in other areas. So I was downstairs learning how to do damages basically. Bitch, this lady had returned some shoes, some Christian Louboutin shoes. When I tell you the shoe, girl, when I tell you that shoe, the bottom of that sole was brown. When I tell you this thing had wore the red off the shoe. And she returned them and got her money back. Back in the day, they didn't care. Now, before I quit, now this was even a couple of years before I quit, I was told that the return policy for designer shoes, they had stopped that shit. So, girl, if you walked in trying to return some shoes, honey, they was going to inspect them shoes, and if you had worn them or if they thought you wore them, honey, girl, you were the owner. You were the owner of those shoes. So I don't think you can go in there and try to pull them games now with designer shoes. They're not going for it. Now, back in the day, honey, girl, it was all, and even back in the day, you could. This was the crazy shit I had ever heard, girl. I said, girl, y'all better be glad I did not know this shit before I started working here, because I would have got y'all asses, girl. No, but for real, girl. Back in the day, you could go in and buy, if you purchase your items with like a credit card, you could go in and return it and ask for cash back. You could write a check and go in and ask for cash back. You could use a gift card to purchase your items, and if you returned them, you could ask for cash back. So whatever you use to purchase your items, when you walk back in, you could get it back in whatever form you wanted to get it back in. Ain't that some crazy shit? I had never heard of no shit like that until I started working at Nordstrom. So hold up. So if a bitch walk in here with a gift card, they could come in here and return it and say, I want cash back. Yes. What? What? So somebody come in here and buy a pair of shoes and return them. They can come and say, I want cash back, even though they bought it with a credit card. Yes. Girl, what? Yeah, girl. Nordstrom was a mess, girl. Nordstrom was cool. I mean, I worked there for 8 years. It was a cool. It was a cute little job. I wasn't stressed out. I started getting stressed out towards the end, girl. I never tell y'all the story about when I quit, girl. It's really, girl. It was like a whole mess, girl. Bitch was going through it. But I tell you, bitch, that was probably the saddest I have ever been in my life. Like I was sad. Like I'm not generally like a sad person. I'm usually pretty much upbeat. I mean, I'm just not walking around here smiling. You know, for the most part, like, I'm usually kind of like upbeat. Not all the time, because sometimes I'm an asshole. And we all okay. I'm nice when I'm not. I'm nice when I'm not an asshole. Okay. Um, but girl, I had got real sad towards the end. I was like, I gotta go because girl, I just was. It was a mess. Girl. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, child. It is what it is. The people at Nordstrom gonna steal, and I hate to say it, but Nordstrom they make it easy for people to steal too. They really do. Believe it. I know that sounds crazy. They really make it easy for people to steal because even like when I used to always wonder like, why do y'all want to put like, even when they would put expensive stuff by the doors, why are y'all putting like, girl, why are y'all putting like Givenchy by this door? I don't understand it. Cause y'all know if y'all know these girls is walking in here, girl, clocking, girl, looking, girl, they gonna walk in this store a few times to examine what's the tea. And then they're gonna come in through this door, girl, cut all these chains off, and run right on out this door. And girl, I'm gonna let them. But let me tell you another thing I want to tell y'all too. For those who work for those who work at a clothing store, don't chase after these people. Let them people whatever they're gonna steal, let them steal it. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Them hoes gonna steal. Them hoes gonna steal. Because best believe, honey, I'm sure it's insured. That's one. Okay. Two, you ain't gonna get no raise because you happen to jump on somebody and girl, tussle them down to the ground. You're not getting no raise. You might get $100 gift card. That's it. Might. Bitch, I ain't never chased after nobody. Okay? And the most I ever did was try to tell the manager when that one person was stealing. And after that, honey, after I saw her reaction, I was like, oh girl, I mind's my business. I don't work in LP. I worked in logistics. So therefore I'm gonna keep working in logistics, okay? And then quiet as kept the truth of the matter is too. No Tino Shay, I probably shouldn't say this and I'm saying it anyways, girl. A lot of times, girl, LP really don't be there for the customers. I was told this that LP is not there for the customers, they're there for the employees. LP was really more so watching us versus the customers. Because a lot of times it's the employees that probably steal the most. Girl, I remember one time when I worked overnight. I used to work overnight, and they stopped doing this, but I never told y'all because, girl, I don't like to put my safety at risk, and I knew some of y'all knew where I worked at, and girl, I wasn't gonna be playing those games with y'all because, bitch, I would call the cops on your ass. Okay. But girl, it was a couple of times I used to work by myself at night. Yes, in that big ass store by myself. Hello? Girl, yes. I used to work by myself sometimes, by myself in that big ass store. I wasn't scared. I never was really scared because I always felt secure in the store. I really did. And I knew that only a certain people could get in the store. Like I was one of the people that I was one of the people and other people that worked in my department. We had access to the store 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? But then there were sales associates, some managers. They only had like they your code, your employee ID number. They give you a certain time for access to the store. So like if they know you're a sales associate, then girl, why you ain't got no business coming to the store at midnight? You ain't got no business coming to the store at 11 o'clock at night, right? You ain't got no business coming into the store at 10 o'clock at night. If anything, you're leaving the store. But anyways, they stopped doing that towards the end because it was like, girl, why is this boy working by itself? But it would be people in the basement too. Let me just correct myself. Even though I was on the floor by myself, the stock team would be in the basement. So the stock team was in the basement. It was just that I was like the only person from the web team that was in like the main store, right? So if the stock team was going on lunch, of course, they will be walking to the store to leave the store. But anyways, child, girl, so we will work at night sometimes, and they at one point, this was before I started working by myself. I used to work with this white girl. She was cool as fuck. I wonder what she doing. Baby, her boyfriend was fine as hell. I got a story to tell about her too, because I found out that she came from money. For the life of me, I did not understand why she worked at Nordstrom. I started understanding like the more she talked. It was pretty much just to kind of shut her mama up because girl, it was a mess, girl. Her mama used to dog. Girl, her mother used to dog out Nordstrom. Why do you work there? Girl, why do you work there? But she didn't want no real job either. So, and she was in school too. So her way of kind of, I guess, showing her mother that she did have some type of income coming in was to kind of like just get a like bullshit job at Nordstrom, right? Even though she really didn't have to work. It was her mother. She had the worst relationship. Her and her father were good. She had a toxic relationship with her mama. Girl was a mess. But anyways, because she got offended one time. This is how people get offended. She got offended because she found out that they were watching us at night. Because she used to work with me overtime. This was years ago before I started working by myself. She used to work overnight with me sometimes. It was a handful. It was probably like 5 of us at one point. She got offended because she was like, "How dare they watch us?" Because one day I was coming to work, and you're not supposed to hold the door for anybody. We had got a new LP manager, and he wanted everyone who worked at the store to put their employee ID number in the door to open up the door. Because before, girl, if you walking up to the door, boom, you just gonna hold the door open. So, girl, 15 people walk in, people just running in trying to get in the store. No, girl, he made everybody. So, like, if I walked into the door, you have to wait till the door locks. Then you have to put your employee ID number in. And then the next person has to wait for the door to close and lock. And then that person has to put their employee in. It became a headache because everybody was so used to kind of like, and then just imagine if you working like 10 o'clock in the morning, you know what I'm saying? And then you running in, it's 9:59, you trying to hurry up and clock in before 10 o'clock. Girl, no. No. Girl, you would literally it would be a line out the door to get inside the store because he did not play that shit. So one morning I was coming to work. I was working a morning shift. And it was probably like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. And I think I had stopped by like Shipley's and got some coffee and donuts or something for me to eat for breakfast. And I had some other stuff in my hand. And this one black guy, he's straight. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but he was real cool. He invited me to a house party one time. But he was like, now he was probably one of the nicest guys I've ever met. But anyways, he was walking up to the door and I was walking up to the door. He held the door open for me. And I was like, oh, thank you. Because I had like a lot of shit in my hand. I don't know what I had, but I had a lot of shit in my hand. And so he held the door open for me. Girl, why? This white woman, girl who worked in LP, baby. So it was probably about, girl, 10 minutes after I had made it to work. Baby, why Whitefish? Baby, Whitefish came up to me. She was like, are you Rodney? No, she was like, good morning. I was like, good morning. And she was like, are you Rodney? I was like, yeah. She was like, okay. She was like, so we have a problem. Not that big. Not that big. You're supposed to use your code when you come into the door. This morning when you walked in, you didn't use your code. You didn't use your code. I was like, girl, bitch, if you saw me walk through this door, you also saw I didn't have no hands free. Girl, they don't care. You better sit that shit on the ground and put your code in the door. I was like, okay. She was like, just no biggie, but just make sure that you just use your code from here on out. Okay, girl, get in my face. And I said the girl name who I was talking about. So I was telling the girl, and she got offended. And we also found out that they watch us when we work overnight. Basically, like, I saw all that sort to tell y'all. Basically, she got upset because she found out that they would watch us overnight when we did work overnight. And I was like, girl, you really think, girl, you really think that they're going to have us in this store? We have access to this store 24/7. We can walk in and walk out as we please. And you think that they ain't watching us? Come on, girl. That's that white privilege right there. Because, girl, I don't think there was nobody in this store who thought that, girl, they was not, bitch, coming in and, bitch, girl, sitting there just watching that footage over and over and over to see what the fuck we was doing. Girl, if you ain't stealing, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Now, this one black guy, he was stealing. I used to work for him overnight too, girl. We actually started becoming cool. We had exchanged numbers. Remember, I told y'all about him, girl. It was a black guy who he did not. Girl, he was weird as fuck. He did not. He was black, girl. He was probably girl skin tone darker than mine, honey. And he did not. He was not attracted to black men. I thought that was weird. I always find it weird when you're not attracted to your own race. I do. It's one thing for you to date outside your race, but when you just say I'm just not attracted to my own race, I find that very odd, right? I just do. Um so anyways, he was not attracted to black men at all. Like he thought that we were like the scum of the earth. Girl, it was what it was, girl. And I remember asking him like, well, what if you found the man of your dreams and blah blah blah. He was like, well, the man of my dreams is not black. With all that being said, he actually I know this is gonna sound crazy. Girl. Besides that, and me side eyeing him, like he actually was not a bad person. Okay, he wasn't. You know, it's kind of like, girl. And I will say, I don't think I ever recall him just outright, just like it just was. He just didn't talk to black men, and that's just what it was. White, Hispanic, whatever. Even though, girl, him and some Mexican guy got into a full fledged fight. Girl, you swarping down there. You ain't going through nothing with them, girl, with them poppies and honey. Y'all over there fighting and tussling and dragging each other downstairs. Anyways, girl, he stole. He was stealing one time. Girl, I still remember that sword, bitch. That shit was so goddamn over the top and dramatic. Girl, I saw the whole thing, and I would have never. Now him, some of the girls up there, you know, they be stealing. Some of the girls was stealing. Some of them just did a good job and didn't get caught. But some of the girls, I would have never thought that he was stealing ever. We got really like at one point it used to be me, him, and probably like two other people working overnight. And girl, at one point it got real slow, like slow. Like when I say it got slow at one point where like it would probably be like 10 orders, 10 items. Now, mind y'all, 10 items, that ain't nothing, y'all. Because the goal was for you to find 10 items per hour. So if it's 10 orders or 10 items, because the items don't necessarily have nothing to do with it. Because you can have one order and it have 25 or it have 25 items. But girl, it could be 10 items, and girl, if it's four of us, and the goal is for us to find 10 per hour, how four people, if it's only 10 items and there's four people at work, you see what I'm saying? So anyways, girl, it used to be real slow sometimes. So sometimes, girl, we would just sit there and talk for hours and hours and hours, girl, and not do nothing. Just talk, 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 talk. But girl, our managers knew it was slow. So we really just used to go to work to just sit there and get paid, quiet as it's kept. So anyways, girl, we became real close. We used to sit there and talk all the time, and he would tell me about his family, and I would talk about my family, and he would tell me about the guys he was into, and he not into black guys, and I used to be so like shocked, like, girl. But anyways, I never thought that he was stealing though. I never ever thought that the nigga was stealing. Girl, so girl, one night I was at work. Bitch, listen to this. So one night I go to work, and my manager, she was a white girl. She was there, and I was trying to hurry up and get there. I had, I used to always go to Starbucks before I made it to work. I was trying to hurry up and get there because even though I will say she really didn't say nothing, like she really didn't care. I would say this much: she really didn't necessarily say anything to me about the times I was late because she was always late fish too. I said Miss Thing was always late, so she really didn't say nothing to me. But girl, you never know. The girls will switch up on you. Especially, this is one thing I will say about working in retail. You start to figure out when it's slow, honey, you better start crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Because when it starts to get slow after the holidays, they start picking at everything. They trying to get people out the door. Because it's slow as hell. And it's probably not going to pick up for a couple of months. So they go from hiring all these people over the holiday season, right? You might have 100 people in your department, right? And they're going to try to reduce that down. Now, some of the people they will tell off the bat, you only here for holiday season. Now they'll tell you, so it ain't no surprise when your name not on the schedule anymore because you know that you're only gonna be there for what, a month or two probably. But then, girl, some of the girls who even they told were permanent, girl, they'll start picking at stuff like, okay, you were late today, you were late today, you were late coming from lunch, you went to lunch early, your lunch was scheduled for 1, you went at 12:30, right? So when stuff like that start happening, girl, you gotta start like making sure your shit is together because girl, they'll start fucking with you. So, anyways, girl. So even though I knew that bitch wasn't gonna say nothing, I didn't think she was gonna say nothing. I still be trying to make sure my shit be together. That's why I used to always wear 3 pieces when I went to work. I used to always wear a blue jean jacket, a shirt, and some jeans. Even though you didn't have to wear 3 pieces, it was in black and white that you were supposed to wear 3 pieces. So I used to always make sure that I did stuff where like I wouldn't give them reason to have to talk to me about, shit. So if I know I was probably late, girl, let me just make sure my dress code is together. So at least my dress code, they won't say nothing about my dress code. Anyways, because I'm walking into work and girl, I pull up and I see the LP manager outside. And I see people starting to leave. Because I think I had to be at work at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I can't remember. But my old manager, she 100% believed in work-life balance. So all of that, she just believed in work-life balance. So sometimes she would let us go home early. So like if she knew, if everybody was, she would let them go home early. So like if everybody was scheduled to get off at 9, she'll be like, okay, y'all, it's 8:30, start wrapping up. Y'all can start getting out of here. So the girls start walking out, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think I had made this work at 9, I can't remember. So the people walking out, and I'm just watching them walk out the store, trying to, get my shit together. And then all of a sudden, I see the LP manager walk out the store. And I see him walk behind a truck. I'm watching the shit with my own eyes. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? This is so weird to me. So I'm starting to get nervous and shit. Because I'm like, why is he outside? And he was like literally hiding behind a truck. Girl. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And so I'm looking and I'm like, hold the fuck up. So I'm like, okay, girl, whatever. I was like, I gotta get out the car because, girl, I'm not being late because I don't want this woman. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think she was gonna say nothing, but you just never know. So I get out the car, and so I'm walking up to the door, and I'm like, me? Girl, so I go over, and he was like, stand right here. Because I'm like, oh! I said, do you want me to just get back in my car? He was like, yeah, just get back in your car. I said, okay. So I went back and got in my car, and I'm texting my manager, And I'm like, I'm here outside. I was like, so and so told me to get back in my car. I don't know what's going on. And she texted me. She was like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't know, girl. So, anyways, I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'll be in as soon as he lets me come inside the store. So she didn't know what was going on. So, girl, my friend, my work friend, girl, he come bouncing out the door. Girl, he probably had about 6 or 7 Nordstrom bags. And then the LP manager came from around the came from around that truck and said, "Hey." And then they walked back inside the building. And I sat there and I was like, "Oh, God, I'm scared to get out the car." So I was like, "Girl, let me just get out this car." So I got out the car, and then our clock in station. I thought I heard something. Our clock in station is right there by my manager's office. And so they were standing right there. So I just clocked in and I heard them talking, and I just kind of walked back inside the office because I had to get my stuff to go to work. And so she was like, "Shut the door." So I shut the door, and I was still like, "What's going on?" I told her. She was like, and I can't say the names. And I told her what happened. And she was like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yes, I'm sure." And she was like, "What do you think happened?" I was like, "I think he might have stole something." Girl, you know what the fuck happened, bitch. Bitch, you know what happened? Girl, we was both in shock, like, because he hadn't told her anything. The LP manager hadn't told my manager anything. And she was like, "Just don't say anything to anybody." I was like, "Okay." And girl, um, I think it was the next day, when I came back to work, she had told me, she was like, "Okay, so and so is no longer with the company." So anyways, girl, he had been stealing. The girl, the gag about it is, girl, he was so fucking stupid. If you see this video, girl, I love you, but girl, you was a fucking idiot, bitch. He stole shit like Zella. He had like a couple of pairs of Nikes, had some pants. No, he had a few boxes of Nikes. Um, he had like some Zella compression tights, leggings, and stuff like that. Like stuff. Like I just felt like sister girl. If you gonna steal sister girl, and girl, all this shit, girl, all this shit they got in this store, and you gonna steal some fucking Nikes? Bitch, they got Balenciagas and Givenchy and Burberry and girl, all types of designer shit in the back room. And girl, you went to the Nike section? Girl, where? Girl, that's what you're stealing? But you know, also too, Nordstrom got the right to press charges against anybody who steals. But I think there was also this thing they said that, girl, if you steal under a certain amount, they probably won't press charges. They might just fire your ass and then like keep your last check, or if you got PTO or some shit like that. I can't remember. But yeah, the stuff he stole was like bullshit shit, like shit that it shouldn't. Like you sound dumb. I mean, you look dumb. Like, girl, you gonna steal, girl, steal, bitch. But if you gonna steal, bitch, you still a Nike, girl. You could have saved your money about the Nikes, girl. You should have been back there trying to get one of the pair of $1,000 Balenciaga tennis shoes. I remember this one black guy who worked on the stock team. He got fired. This fool, girl, he would steal the stuff. This how I see y'all some fucking idiots. He would steal the shoes. He would steal shoes, wallets, belts, and then girl, he would post the stuff on his Instagram page. And the whole time Nordstrom LP was watching his Instagram page. He would post them on his stories. One day, girl, one day, my friend told me, she was like, "Go to his store." She sent me, I said, "Girl, he had the stuff big as hell in his store, selling the stuff he stole." He got fired, of course. Yeah, the girls be stealing, girl. The girls be stealing. Some of the girls still work there. They just ain't got caught because they know what they doing. And some of the girls, they get greedy. And I think the other guy, the guy that I started being friends with, I think he got ahead of himself because I think that he felt as though he was in the clear because I don't think anybody suspected that he would be a thief. You see what I'm saying? Like he gave very much not whitewash. He just gave very much innocent. You just wouldn't think that he was steal. I think a lot of us was shocked when we found out that he got 5%. Because I don't like, girl. I'm like, girl, as much as we used to talk, how much stuff did he? And I heard he stole more stuff than when he walked out the store with. He was already stealing stuff. That's why I said, girl, you got real. That's another thing too, girl. He got real bold. Because girl, for you to even walk out the store, that means this is what you did. You went and got some shoes from the back. You put them in Nordstrom bags, and then you went upstairs, put them in the employee room, and then when it was time to leave, you went and got your bags and walked out the door. You have to be a brave motherfucker to do some shit like that. Brave. Like, you have to be brave to do some shit like that. But I heard he had already been stealing before that. Anyway, shit, I just been running my mouth. What else we talking about, girl? That's it, girl. That's because I talk too much. All right, y'all. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.